Welcome to The Explainer. We all make hundreds of decisions every single day. Most are small, right? Like what to have for lunch. But what about the ones that really, really count? Well, today, we're going to build a powerful framework you can use to make great decisions consistently. Let's get started. And that's not just some fluffy corporate slogan. Think about it. The quality of your choices, both big and small, literally shapes your entire life. Mastering this skill isn't just useful, it's absolutely essential. Because, let's be honest, half the time, it just feels like we're winging it, doesn't it? Just guessing and hoping for the best. But what if you had a blueprint, a system that could bring real clarity and confidence to pretty much any choice you have to make? Well, you can. All right, so let's start with part 1, the 8-step decision blueprint. Step 1 is all about defining the real problem. It's actually pretty simple. What's the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be? You have to get this right because if you mess up this step, everything else you do is basically a waste of time. To make this real, let's follow a manager named Amanda. Her problem? Her team's laptops are slow, ancient, just terrible. That's the obstacle. And her goal? A super productive team that's crushing their sales targets. See, the old tech is the gap between those two things. So Amanda's going to use this exact process. She's already done step 1, identify the problem. Now let's watch as she figures out what's important, weighs her options, and makes the final call. Now this next step, this is the real secret sauce. It's called allocating weights. Because let's face it, not all criteria are created equal. Amanda decides that memory and storage are a 10 out of 10. Totally non-negotiable. But display quality, it's a nice to have, so it only gets a 3. This is how you force yourself to be honest about what truly matters most. And here it is, the payoff. Once she actually runs the different laptops through her weighted criteria, the choice becomes crystal clear. Yeah, some of the others might have a fancier display, but the HP ProBook scores the highest on her top priorities. All of a sudden, the best choice isn't a guess anymore. It's just simple math. Okay, so that 8-step process is perfect in a perfect world. But let's be real for a second. Our brains don't actually work like spreadsheets. So in part 2, let's talk about rationality versus reality and how we actually make decisions. You see, that rational model assumes we're basically supercomputers. We're perfectly objective. We have all the data in the world. But in reality, we're human. We operate with something called bounded rationality. It's just a fancy way of saying we do the best we can with the limited time and information we actually have. So instead of aiming for perfection, we usually aim for good enough. And that leads to this fantastic concept. We satisfice. And nope, that is not a typo. It's not about being lazy, it's about being smart and efficient. Trying to find the absolute perfect option can lead to analysis paralysis, where you make no choice at all. Sometimes good enough is actually the great choice. Then, of course, there's the third way we make decisions, and it's one we have all used: intuition. You know that feeling, that gut feeling, that little voice in your head that just knows what to do? Well, it's not random. It's actually a powerful cognitive tool. So what is intuition really? Well, it's your brain's subconscious supercomputer going to work. It's rapidly matching patterns based on all of your past experiences, your emotions, your core values. It's all that judgment you've built up over years, processing information in a flash. It's not magic, it's expertise. So we have these different approaches to making a call. The key, though, is knowing which approach to use and when. That brings us to part 3, understanding the difference between programmed and unstructured decisions, basically using the right tool for the right job. On the one hand, you've got structured problems. Think of these as the routine, everyday stuff. A customer needs a refund, an employee asks for a day off. You've seen it a million times, you know the playbook, the information's right there. But on the other hand, you have unstructured problems. These are the curveballs, the new, unusual situations where you don't have all the info and things are fuzzy. You know, like deciding if your company should enter a totally new market. There is no instruction manual for that. So here's how it all connects. For those routine, structured problems, you use a programmed decision. You just follow a procedure or a policy. It's quick, it's efficient. But for those big, messy, unstructured problems, well, those demand a non-programmed decision. They require your unique judgment, your creativity, your intuition. Okay, finally, part 4.
Let's pull all of this together and build your decision-making toolkit.
So here's the big takeaway. Being a great decision maker isn't about having one single magic bullet. It's about being a strategist who knows how to match the right tool to the right problem. For an everyday issue, use a simple rule. But for that huge, complex challenge, that's when you break out the full 8-step blueprint.
So I want you to think about a decision that's on your plate right now. Could be big, could be small. Could you actually define the criteria? Could you weigh them? The next time you face a tough choice, don't just guess. Use the blueprint and unlock your own inner strategist.